So guys, there are aircraft that we will never see being added to the game. Well, I mean, probably, right? You never know, but for like 99% sure that these aircraft will never get added. So let's start and list them by basically four, so we're gonna talk about four of them. There are obviously more than that, but these are the four more interesting ones that I think will never be added. The first one, unfortunately, is a MiG. The MiG 1.44. This is what it was meant to be the answer for the F-22 if the Soviet Union never collapsed. It was actually started to be developed in the late 80s, and the objective was the same as the F-22, right? It was basically to be the next generation of jet aircraft. This was meant to be an interceptor, but also a fighter, and basically it could do anything. But the main objective was to basically substitute not all, but it would be basically a complementation in the next generation of a jet fighter, right? The Soviets designed it to be semi-stealth. That's the thing, they're probably going to be less stealthy than F-22, but also it wasn't 100% like, forget about stealth, right? It was developed to be using, when in production, paint to absorb radar radiation. The intakes were being redeveloped from the prototype to be more stealthy. The weapon bay would carry a lot of missiles, so the radar would be designed and everything with that, and it would basically be the next generation of jet, right? So you would have semi-stealth features, you would have an PESA radar, you would be using the most modern Fox 3 missiles that the Russians were producing at the time. It would be basically the ultimate fighter for the Soviets. But in 1991, something happened, right? And because of that, and many other reasons, politically and many other things, including even according to some people lobby inside the government, and Mikoyan basically started to have financial troubles. So if you combine all of that, right? And the project basically was dropped with the first prototype, just doing some flights and stuff, and it was basically that. So since not even, like, we didn't even see the full model, like the full production model flying, like the Ak-141 had 90% of the stuff when it was actually in its prototype phase, The MiG 1.44 had like half. It didn't have a radar, it didn't have the weapon bay, it didn't have the intake redesigned, the radar absorbing paint. All of those stuff would come later. So we never actually saw anything that would be similar to the actual aircraft fully built, right? So that's the reason why we will probably never see the MiG 1.44. Although a cool aircraft, it would be basically a paper aircraft if it's added with the radar and the weapons and everything, okay? The second one is another Russian aircraft that I know it's kind of sad, but I'm gonna say to you guys, the Su-47. Yes, the Su-47 will probably never be added. And here we have a somewhat similar situation with the MiG 144, that this aircraft was developed to be something, and then eventually they changed the project, and eventually it became a technology demonstrator, which means that it didn't have the weapon systems, it didn't have anything that could fire a missile or a gun or anything with that, right? It was somewhat of a crazy design, of course, with the inverted swept wing design, but at the same time it was very, very problematic because it was just very difficult to produce an aircraft like that. So it's very cool at the same time that it was really weird. And not having radar, not having weapons, this is the main thing, technology demonstrators and paper aircraft basically, which is basically what this would be if it gets weapons, for example, getting added to the game. It would mean that it would become a paper aircraft, so that means we will never see this aircraft probably. I have to say probably, but you'll never see this aircraft in War Thunder. Unless it's an event or something, I really doubt it. The next one is one that it's kind of controversial because a lot of people ask for this aircraft for some reason. Like, a lot of people love this aircraft, even though now we already have the Eurofighter. But it is the EAP. This is basically a similar-ish kind of situation with the other aircraft. The main thing is that it is a technology demonstrator as well, and a lot of the technology developed to make this aircraft were used in the Eurofighter, and the design even is very similar, if you ask me. And they even added some, you know, some like missiles there. If you, I mean, it's not really missiles, it's just like pretend missiles, but still, they added stuff to take pictures and stuff, and you know, it pretends that he has a weapon and stuff, what it would be like, and you know. But at the end of the day, even use the same engine if I'm not mistaken, but at the end of the day, they eventually used this technology to develop the Eurofighter afterwards, right? So this is just a technology demonstrator again. This is already denied by a lot of the official forums and community managers and everything. So don't expect this thing to ever exist in War Thunder. It doesn't have weapons, it doesn't have anything that can be actually added. Again, I mean, the technology used in this prototype was put into the Eurofighter, but at the same time, it is like a very, very, very far away and very early prototype of the Typhoon. It's not really that, it's, you know, it's two different projects, but you know what I mean, you know, it eventually became that project, but yeah, with no weapons, with everything, you know, being a technology demonstrator, don't expect this thing to be added. And the last one, which is an American aircraft. Finally, we talk about an American aircraft, and it is the Grumman X-29. This thing also obviously follows the same fate as the other ones. This is basically an F5, technically, like an F20, I would say, you know, but with the inverted swept design wing, just like the Su-47. Uses the same engine as the F20 and stuff, and it's pretty much that, but with the completely different design and trying to implement good enough fly-by-wire systems to be able to fly with these types of wings, right? So it's basically, I mean, they can even say it's a technology demonstrator, but it's more like a test, basically, right? They were testing the composite materials, the fly-by-wire systems, trying to develop something that could use this type of wing to basically try to use this in any type of future design, right? So doesn't have any weapons, it doesn't have anything. It looks cool, man. The thing looks amazing, but yeah, since it doesn't have weapons, it doesn't have anything with that, it doesn't, like, it's not supposed to be carrying anything, you will never see these aircraft. And basically this is it, guys. These are 4 aircraft that you're probably never gonna see again. Like I said, these are very cool aircraft that everybody loves, but at the same time, they're not real enough, I must say, to be added as a full aircraft, especially because of the weapons, you know. As an event, maybe, I don't know, but still, probably never. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments if I miss anything. Of course, there's a lot of experimental aircraft that we could add to this list, but let me know what do you think would be the coolest ones in the comments down below. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye, guys. See ya.